Hello and welcome back to Notebook. Today we will start a new chapter, Money and Credit. Let us begin with a story. A ship sank and 5 of its passengers made it to a lonely island. They could bring back some of their belongings with themselves. The next day, Hari discovers that he has no food left in his bag. Priyam had more food left, but she needed clothes. Hari had extra clothes, so they exchanged. This seems a happy situation, right? See how it gets more complex the next day when Manjeet needed medicines. Manjeet had extra shoes. Hari needed shoes, but he didn't have medicines to give Manjeet in return. Jigme had medicines, but he also had shoes. So, what did we notice? We saw that a double coincidence of wants, that is, supplier of good A wanting good B, while the supplier of good B wanting good A meeting together is the only situation where the above model can work. This above model, by the way, is known as the barter system. Some of the other problems involved with barter system are no absolute value. Suppose wheat is getting exchanged with potatoes, but who decides how much? Loss of value for the items. Wheat can be stored for some time, but the person with potatoes cannot wait for months to get the wheat. His potatoes will rot. So, how did Hari and the group solve the problem? Well, they did it with coconuts. The group had collected coconuts as extra ration from the island. They decided that the value of every item will be in a certain number of coconuts. Anybody needing some items would pay the seller the number of designated coconuts, and they lived happily ever after. Or at least till they were discovered by a ship. So, we have discovered money too. The coconuts on the island were fulfilling the same purpose as currency notes and coins are doing now. Money acts as a medium of exchange in transactions and is widely accepted. Historically, coins were made from gold, silver, copper, etc., and these have been used as currency. Even before this, during ancient times, items like salt and barley have been used as a medium of exchange. In fact, you must have heard the term, not worth his salt. It is said that in ancient Greece, slave traders took payments in the form of salt. So, when they would refuse to buy a slave, they would say these words. Barley was in fact used much earlier, around 3000 BC in Mesopotamia. The two main forms of money in modern times are currency. Currency is accepted all over a country as money and is issued by the government. It is made up of coins and notes. In India, the Reserve Bank makes these on behalf of the Government of India. The amount of coins and notes in circulation is strictly controlled by the government. Legally, nobody can refuse any payment made in the form of the Indian national rupee in India, making it the most widely accepted medium of exchange. Before we go to the next form of money, let us discuss what a bank is. A bank is a financial institution which can accept deposits. It can also lend money. It gives interest to depositors and charges interest from lenders. The Central Bank of India is the Reserve Bank. This bank, under the authority of the Government of India, sets the different rules for the other banks to follow. In India, there are several types of banks. Banks in India can be loosely classified as public and private. SBI and ICICI Bank are the biggest bank in these categories respectively. This brings us to the second type of currency. Bank deposits and associated instruments. When a person has excess money with him or her, he can open a savings account with a bank and deposit it there. The money deposited in a bank can be withdrawn when demanded, and hence they are called demand deposits. It is, however, the different instruments in a bank that can actually replace currency as money. The most widely used instruments are checks, demand drafts, and the facility of electronic transfer. Checks are paper certificates which, when used, transfers a specified amount of money from the issuer's bank account to that of the recipient. Demand drafts are very similar, the only difference being that the bank issues a draft while an individual issues a check. This is used in situations when the recipient wants to be extra sure that he will indeed receive the money, as check payments can fail sometimes. Electronic transfer is the fastest way of transfer, as it does not need anybody to meet in person for the transaction. Money changes hands online. This gives the consumer an option. He can either use cash or use a check, or any other instrument while transacting, and hence these instruments are as good as currency. I hope you liked this part of our video lesson on money and credit. See you soon for the next part of our video.